Here we have the inside of the Coachman Pastiche 545. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just by flicking the master switch just here. Directly beneath that we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can all be turned on and off on their own switches. Next we have water pump on and off. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it has been drained down. And then we have awning light on and off just here, and voltage of the leisure battery just here. Next we have the control panel for the Aldi heating and hot water system. To turn the control panel on, just press here. And then on initial startup, it will let you know if you have main supply connected to the caravan and will give you an internal temperature. If I now press menu, it will bring up the basic functions. So at the top here, we have the thermostat for the heating. Just literally plus and minus to pick whatever temperature you would like it to be inside the caravan. It will drop all the way down to 5 degrees for frost protection and go all the way up to 30. Next we have a picture of a shower head, and this is hot water. So currently hot water off, hot water on, and if I press it again, hot water in boost mode. Boost mode is extremely handy if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other, or if you just want hot water very quickly. If you do perform the boost and the heating is in operation, the heating will turn off as it needs to use the extra power. So even though I've now turned the heating on and turned the hot water on, the system hasn't actually fired up yet because we haven't given it a power source. So we have a little picture of a lightning strike just here and a picture of a flame just here. So we have mains and gas. So if we're hooked up to the main supply, all we need to do to turn it on is just press the plus, and we can run it on 1 kilowatts, 2 kilowatts, or 3 kilowatts. This is all just dependent on the ampage of the site you're on. And if we don't have mains, we can run on gas. If we have both power sources available to us, we can run in dual fuel mode, which is very handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly, and it will only consume gas as it's required. Next, this ACC is just for the workshops, you cannot access this. And then we have A, which is just for activated functions, so you'll see that we just have the room temperature sensor set to auto, and this is all it ever needs to be on. And if I now press the picture of the cog, we will go into the settings menu. So you will see that we have a picture of a moon and a sun. So we have night mode, turn it on and off just here. We can then set the time we would like it to be for that night time, and then we can set when we would like night mode to begin, if it's for all days of the week or just individual, and when we would like night mode to end. Next we have picture of a sun, and we have exactly the same again, but this time just for the daytime. Prioritize is what the system prioritizes in using when in that dual fuel mode. So now I've just set it so it will prioritize main supply over gas. If you are on a very low amp site, you can have it so it prioritizes gas over electric. Brightness of the screen just here. Again, this is just getting into the room temperature sensor, so again, just leave it on auto. And then we have set the correct time of day and day of the week just here. If I now arrow down, again, most of these can only be accessed by the workshop. This one can be used. This is a load monitor, so if you know how many amps the site is that you are on, you can select it on here, and then it doesn't really matter if you are running on 3 kilowatts, it will just control itself to avoid tripping. Antimicrobial just here. This can only be used if you are using night mode with it. And then what will happen is, during the middle of the night, the boiler will come on to kill off any bacteria that may be in the system. Temperature offset for the onboard thermostat if you don't think it's quite correct. High altitude mode just here. So if you are using the caravan 1,000 meters or more above sea level, just pop this on to make it run more efficiently at that air pressure. Key beeps on and off. One delayed start and stop to the system, so you can have it so the system fires up on say Monday at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then completely turns itself off at say Saturday at 12 in the afternoon. Pump settings, just leave it set to thermal. This is for the heating system. Full factory reset just here. So if there is a problem with the system, you can just reset the control panel. External start just here. You do have to have additional SIM boxes added if you wanted to control this via an app. Language, service, again more for the workshop, but it will let you know what everything is up to. Installed accessories, most items that are of any use are already ticked. And then we go around back to the beginning again. If I now move across to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, you will now see that we have the location of the Aldi boiler just here, and tucked down here are the 2 drain valves to drain the boiler down for either travel or winterization. You'll see that we have one here and one here. This one being to drain down the cold feed, and this to drain down the hot feed. All you need to do is literally flap both levers up like so, and it will then drain all the water out of the boiler. I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the caravan, that you also go around and open up all of the taps, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down more efficiently. When it comes to refilling it, make sure the taps are closed, flap the drain valves back over, fill up the aqua roll, drop in the submersible, turn on the master switch, and then turn on the water pump, and it will then begin to refill the boiler. Let it run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they begin to force the air out of the system. Once it's running freely on both hot and cold, then reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Water pump just at the back here, and then the surge dampener for it. We then have the box for the alarm and the control board for the motor mover. If there is a problem with the controller not pairing up to the control box, you can press the reset button there. Press this first, then press both green buttons on the handset to repair it. Battery box just here, We then have the 10 amp fuse just there for the solar panel. And then we have the top of the consumer unit. The battery charger just sits beneath this part here. So just make sure that nothing is obstructing it to avoid overheating. And then if I flap this door open here, you can see the front of the consumer. So we have the trip switches just here. So we've got the individual MCBs all labelled up, main RCD and test button just here. And then directly beneath that we then have the 12 volt fuses, and again they're all labelled up, so if anything's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you have blown a fuse. Directly above this bench seat we have the radio. You'll see that it can connect up to phones, etc. And we have auxiliary just here, CD in here and eject on here. On and off on the button that says SRC. And then we have change tracks or search for radio stations just here. Volume control just here, and if you need to go into its menu, just press the volume button in and then navigate by turning. And then anything you need to go into, just push again. To get back out, just press here and then back off again just here. In the overhead locker just here is the solar panel regulator. You can see that we've also got 2 USB charge points in here as well. This is all set up to charge the leisure battery. You can press the menu button and select through, so at the moment you'll see that it's just scrolling through, but you can just do it all yourself as well if you want to. And then we have the TV aerial. The digital amplifier is just here, on and off, just here, and then control the boost on the dial here. To raise the TV aerial, just undo the collar and then push up and get it into the position you require, and then lock it back into place. You'll see at the moment that there's a green window that says H. This green window represents the back of the aerial, so you know which way it's pointing, but secondly it's letting us know that it's in the horizontal position. We can flip it to the vertical for additional tuning just by turning the tail just here, but do make sure that it's back in horizontal for travel and that it is also down. You'll see that there is a cable loose at the moment, and this is connected to the TV aerial socket on the outside of the caravan in the battery locker. If you are going to use an external aerial, just remove this one and plug this into here. Thetford fridge just here, on and off on the black square, and at the moment we are running the fridge on main supply with a little picture of the 2-pin plug. If you do not have main supply connected, you can run it on gas. Just hold the grey square in and it will begin to flash, and then just use your arrow keys to select the little picture of the flame. Then press the grey button, which will then move across to your temperature control. Pick what temperature you would like the fridge to be at, and then just press the grey button again, and you'll now see that the fridge will now attempt to light itself on gas. If it fails to light, it will begin to flash, and this green light here will go to a red flashing light to indicate that it's failed. This will also happen if you're trying to run it on main supply and you have no mains connected. And it will also do it if you're trying to run it on 12 volt maintain, which is what is used when towing to keep the fridge cold. And as you see, it will now error at the moment because I'm not connected to a tow vehicle. Freezer compartment at the top. Microwave just here. Always advisable to remove any contents for travel. This is an eco-friendly microwave, so before use you will need to wake it up. This will only work whilst the caravan is connected to mains electricity. And we have the usual quick start, stop at the bottom just here, auto cook at the top, and then your power settings, defrost, etc. just here. The microwave is just plugged in at this point here. Hob just here, so we have the electric hot plate, and again, like the microwave, will work when the caravan's connected to main supply, and it operates just here, and the red light comes on to let you know it's in operation. We then have the 3 gas rings, and it's just push in, twist, and push the igniter. Directly beneath it is the grill, and again just push in and twist and press the igniter. And then the oven. Storage beneath the oven, but you'll also find a plug plugged in, which is just for the electric hot plates. And then beside that we'll have some of the gas isolation taps for the caravan. They're all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. I always say if you do smell gas, just go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. But we have fridge, heating and hot water, and the cooker. Freestanding table just here, and then as we move to the centre of the caravan we have the basin, and then the shower cubicle. Do make sure that the shower screen is secure for travel, the same as with the partition doors. For toilet just here, the bowl does swivel to open to the cassette. Just slide the grey lever across and then push to flush just here. Level indicator just here, so this will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying, and then close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. Storage beneath the fixed bed. And then in this wardrobe is the header tank for the Aldi heating system. Just make sure that the fluid level is between the minimum and the maximum. Always take your reading once it's up to temperature, as it will expand in the tank. If it does need topping up, you can do this yourself by unscrewing the top just here. Just make sure that you are using the correct Aldi top-up solution, with this one being the blue one. Light switches just here. We then also have TV aerial point, 12 volt main socket, and then we also have the other TV point just here. This satellite one runs to the satellite in the battery locker. The front bed is extremely easy to make. Just pull the slats out and then just drop the cushions into position, just like so. I personally flip the cushions over as they are less bumpy on the underneath, but it is just down to personal preference.